My girlfriend said, "I need some private time. Don't contact me." I replied, "Okay." And I posted evidence of vacation she took with another man while she was in love with me. I tagged him. After that, there were panic calls on my phone ringing nonstop, and honestly, I had never felt such a mix of betrayal and vindication all at once. Let me back up a bit. My name is Eric, 32M, and the girlfriend in question is Vanessa, 29F. We've been together for 3 years, living in my apartment, sharing responsibilities. Though honestly, it always felt like I was giving more than I got. She had this habit of disappearing into her work emails, social events, late-night hangouts with friends I barely knew, and somehow I kept convincing myself that it was all normal, that love sometimes required patience and understanding. The text came one Friday morning, brief and clinical. "Eric, things are feeling overwhelming for me. I need some private time to myself. Please don't contact me. I'll reach out when I'm ready. Hope you understand." Space. The word itself made my stomach twist, but I typed back the most rational thing I could. "Okay, Vanessa, take all the time you need." I honestly thought it was temporary. Maybe a week or two for her to recharge, for her to figure out what she wanted. I did not imagine that private time was code for sneaking off with a married colleague on a secret romantic getaway. That discovery hit me like a truck a week later. Scrolling mindlessly through Instagram when a post from a mutual acquaintance popped up, Vanessa, smiling too much, holding hands with a man named Patrick, 35M, married, champagne in hand, at some tropical beach resort. The dates coincided perfectly with the private time she had demanded from me. My mind went numb. I felt the hot sting of betrayal, the cold calculation of being lied to, and a strange, almost electric rush of something I hadn't felt in years, righteous anger. The first thought that crossed my mind was, she wants consequences? Fine. She wanted space. She got it. And Patrick's wife, Melissa, well, she deserved to know what her husband had been up to. So I spent the night saving photos, screenshots, and captions, organizing them into a timeline that perfectly exposed the trip, the closeness, the smiles that weren't meant for me, the secret candlelit dinners, the hotel selfies with the arm draped across her back, the intimacy that was clearly not platonic. Then I posted it publicly, short, sharp, and direct. Vanessa said she needed private time. Looks like she found it. Hope it was worth it. Oh, and Melissa, tagging you because I think you deserve to see this. Photos attached, every single one. I didn't wait for her reaction. I blocked her immediately on every platform. I went to bed that night with my heart still racing, half in disbelief, half in satisfaction, and slept better than I had in months. The chaos hit about 30 minutes later. My phone exploded with calls, messages, voicemails from numbers I didn't recognize. Patrick first, panicked and breathless, calling me by name, begging, trying to reason, his voice tight with fear. "Eric, please take that down. You don't know what you're doing. My life, my marriage, everything. I swear it means nothing. It's complicated. Please, please." I didn't answer. Vanessa called next, screaming, begging, tears evident even in her voice. "Eric, what are you thinking? This is insane. You can't do this. I'll explain. Just please, take it down." But I didn't. Her desperation rang hollow to me. She thought I would somehow clean up the mess she had orchestrated. Then came the friends, the enablers, and Vanessa's family. Pamela, her older sister, and Carolyn, her mother. They called, texts, voicemails, messages filled with indignation. "Eric, open the door. She has belongings in your apartment. How could you do this? This is cruel." I didn't answer them either. Silence is its own statement. Over the next few days, I watched the fallout like a hawk. Vanessa tried to reach me through burner numbers, alternating between pleading and threats. Patrick was scrambling, trying to claim that their interactions were innocent, that it was all some misinterpretation. Melissa, Patrick's wife, messaged me quietly, thanking me for the truth, saying she appreciated knowing what was happening even if she didn't have all the details. That brief note, calm and collected, grounded me. It reminded me that exposing the truth wasn't just revenge. It was justice. The following week, Vanessa and her family showed up at my apartment, banging on the door, shouting, demanding access to her belongings. My lawyer had already prepared a cease and desist. The house was legally mine, and I watched through security cameras as Pamela tried reasoning, Carolyn screaming about rights and fairness, Vanessa wailing dramatically. Nothing penetrated my resolve. When they finally left, muttering threats, I smiled quietly. The law was on my side, and for the first time in years, I felt in control of a situation where I had felt powerless. The next step was legal precision. My lawyer sent official letters detailing harassment, defamation, and the legal consequences of any further contact or attempts to manipulate the situation. The responses from Vanessa and her family were predictable: outrage, cries of injustice, claims of emotional investment, and attempts to bully me into compliance. But every text, every voicemail, every claim they made was meticulously documented. Then came the belongings standoff. Vanessa, through Carolyn, demanded access to her stuff. My lawyer replied calmly, "Make a list. Items will be packed by a neutral party and left curbside at a set time. 7 days to claim, otherwise disposal." The sheer audacity of their outrage was almost comical. Then the final phase, the domino effect. Melissa filed for divorce against Patrick, naming Vanessa for adultery. I offered full cooperation, including my evidence and screenshots, to support the case. Patrick's career imploded. He fled the state, while Vanessa was left socially and professionally ruined. The ripple effect was complete. Over the next several months, I methodically purged my apartment of influence, boxing up items that had belonged to me all along, labeling, documenting, and leaving the neutral pickup as planned. Her family tried to negotiate, plead, and manipulate, but the legal letters kept them at bay. Watching Vanessa, Patrick, and their neighbors experience the consequences of their choices was, frankly, satisfying. I did not initiate harm. They did it to themselves. But I was the mechanism that exposed the truth, that let reality settle in for them in ways they could not ignore. My life returned to a sense of peace I hadn't known in years. The apartment felt mine again, the chaos of deception behind me, and the lesson clear: boundaries, honesty, and decisiveness protect self-respect. Over time, friends and acquaintances who have been caught in the middle came to understand the full story, acknowledging my role not as a vindictive villain, but as someone who refused to be a pawn in the drama of people incapable of honesty or responsibility. I moved forward slowly, cautiously, rebuilding trust in myself and the people around me, aware that some scars of betrayal would linger, but confident that my sense of integrity and personal boundaries had been fortified in ways I never imagined. And every time my phone rang now, I answered with clarity. Never fear, never doubt, just calm awareness of my own value. Vanessa, Patrick, and their networks became cautionary tales. Melissa found closure. Patrick fled the public eye. And I realized the lesson is simple. People will reveal themselves if you watch, if you listen, if you trust but verify. And when they do, consequences, honest and immediate, are not just deserved, they are necessary. I moved on, rebuilt, and for the first time in years, feel like I'm truly unapologetically free, able to breathe, able to live, able to be me without the shadow of deception looming, and that feeling, that quiet, firm sense of self, is worth every sleepless night, every confrontation, every meticulous legal letter, and every photograph shared in the name of truth. Because at the end of it all, I am not just surviving, I am thriving, and no one can take that away from me. Looking back, the months leading up to Vanessa's betrayal are clearer now. All the little lies, the subtle dismissals, the excuses about work, the late nights that smelled faintly of perfume that wasn't mine. They were warnings I didn't heed, signs that I had been blinded by affection and hope. I replay every memory with an analytical eye now, noticing the manipulations, the gaslighting, the endless weaving of a story where I was a problem for being too attentive or too loving. I realize now how exhausting it must have been for her to maintain a double life. Yet my empathy doesn't excuse the betrayal. Patrick, too, revealed himself fully. Every justification he whispered in desperation now lies exposed in court documents and divorce filings. The images I posted, once a source of heartache, are now a shield of validation, proof that my instincts were right all along. I think of the mornings I made coffee for both of us, the nights I stayed up listening to her complaints about deadlines, her stories about colleagues, The effort I put into our home, the holidays I planned meticulously, the birthdays I remembered, all of it felt empty, and that emptiness now has a name: betrayal. I have grown stronger, more assertive, more discerning. I no longer entertain red flags. I anticipate them. The world seems less complicated when you trust your judgment and have the courage to act decisively. I even found a quiet satisfaction in reorganizing my apartment after the purge, taking control of every detail, repainting walls, rearranging furniture, reclaiming the space that had been psychologically invaded. Every object I touch is mine, every corner a testament to my resilience. Vanessa's absence is palpable, her ghost lingering only in the form of memories and the occasional social media mention I scroll past briefly, acknowledging it, then moving on. The ripple effects of our actions and decisions have taught me something critical. People cannot manipulate what you choose not to share. You cannot control their responses, but you can control your boundaries, your decisions, and the clarity with which you act. Every letter my lawyer sent, every call I ignored, every carefully documented piece of evidence was a statement. I will not be used, I will not be lied to, and I will not allow others to seek to dictate the course of my life. And now, months later, with the dust settled, I wake up in the quiet of my apartment. Sunlight streaming through windows, I arrange myself. Coffee brewing in the kitchen, I refilled, and I breathe. I breathe deeply, unburdened by lies, unclouded by manipulation, and I realize something profound. Freedom isn't just leaving someone who betrays you. Freedom is asserting your right to dignity, to truth, and to peace, and guarding that freedom with every ounce of courage you have. I look at the photos I kept, framed, not to glorify revenge, but to remind myself of the lessons learned, the mistakes avoided in the future, the strength I now carry in knowing exactly who I am and what I will tolerate. Life has a rhythm again, and I follow it on my terms, without compromise, without fear, and most importantly, without regret. I share this now because someone, somewhere, might be blindsided, confused, hurt, and unsure how to respond to betrayal. You can be rational, decisive, and fair while still protecting yourself. You can expose the truth without becoming cruel. You can hold firm boundaries without losing empathy. And you can move forward with your life intact, your dignity preserved, and your peace reclaimed. That is what I did, and I will carry that strength with me always. A quiet but undeniable force that shapes every choice I make from this day forward. Proof that even in heartbreak and deception, there is clarity, there is justice, and there is the unshakable empowerment of standing firm in the truth.